Hello, everyone. My name is Amber Ng, and I am currently a human resource major at Mount Royal University. I am a bit sick, so hopefully I get through this video without having to cough or sneeze. Um, but a bit off topic, but I do have three cats that I want to share with everyone because they bring me so much joy, and hopefully you guys think that they are cute as I think they are. Being an HR 4407, I think my key takeaway from this class is the type of changes there are, that being tangential, transitional, and transformational. Knowing these changes not only allows me to know what to do when it occurs, but also to become less resistant to them. So tangential change are small incremental improvements or corrections in a way an organization conducts business. They're typically used to improve or correct a process in the organization. However, because the change is small, it can often be ignored or forgotten. So a tangential change that happened to my life is the store that I work at installed a numbering system. So when you punch in the number, the machine announces through the speakers, allowing the customers to hear their number when it gets busy. But because we have always called out the number ourselves, we weren't quite used to it in the beginning, so it was not used much by any of us, and it was placed under the counter where it goes completely unnoticed. However, as we get busier, we realize that a lot of times when we call out the number, it often gets unheard because of how loud it is. So there are so many times when we call out the number and then it's just so awkward because we have to wait there for the customers to come pick up their drink. But then we would keep calling out the number over and over again. But there was just no response from anyone. And it was just like a really awkward 1 to 2 minute where you just stand there to wait for that customer. Um, so yeah, that's when we start using the machine and placing it on the counter right before the drinks get served to remind ourselves to use the new system. Like the image where the circle is kind of like similar to our layout where that's where we would put our system. So it forces us to to actually punch in the numbers each time. Before it was like under the counter here where it's like completely like people always forget about it. So yeah, when small changes do happen, there are many different methods, such as writing a memo or keeping designated spots for commonly used objects to ensure that the new procedures are not forgotten. The next one is transitional change, is about replacing existing systems, processes, and strategies with new ones. As compared to tangential, it is less frequent but is larger in context and scope. If transitional change is successfully implemented, then it gives a competitive edge to an organization to capture the market and expand it to the next level. Again, the store that I worked at opened its second location this year, and I was transferred to this new location. Although I didn't resist this change, I think it could have been handled a lot better because the owners just kind of told me, like, hey, we're opening a new location by your house, and basically you'll be managing that location, and that was it. They didn't tell me anything else, and it was like the first day of opening was the first time I'd been there because I didn't even know where it was in the beginning, so I had to like go a little bit early to find the place first. Yeah. So the new location had like a total like different system where there were like new technologies, the same tasks were done differently, and the overall daily operations were different. I felt like a complete new employee there because I did not know how to use any of the new equipment. I had to ask a question almost every time I needed to get something done because I wasn't sure where to put or find anything. So this change, I think, was handled very poorly by the management. And the things that I learned from this class that the management could have done differently next time was to regularly update the staff on the steps they're taking to support them through the change and train them in the new system. And it's important to clearly communicate the impacts and benefits that are foreseen as a result of this change. So I think my attitude would have definitely been more positive towards the new location opening had these been the approaches taken at those times. So lastly is the biggest one, which is transformational change. This is the biggest change out of the three. Transformational change is the complete change in identity of an organization. It is about emergence of completely new structure, culture, and reputation. It's a kind of new life for an organization because this major change affects how people think and behave. I personally don't have an example for this one yet because I haven't really worked in a big organization that has experienced this, but I do know that an organization that did was IBM. This company was known widely for selling computers and software, but has now transformed into a major international consulting firm. The company that was the company that was synonymous with computer hardware mostly stopped selling their stuff and turned themselves into a global consulting firm. And in 2011, IBM passed $100 billion in annual sales for the first time. So knowing that a transitional change is happening, it prepares myself and what is expected of the change, allowing me to be on board and supportive of what's happening. When the common downside associated with this type of change emotion is loss of faith and fatigue, over communication is key to preventing these. In organization-wise, this means managements need to develop and communicate a well-defined strategy that explains the approach they are taking to change, as well as the goals they are setting, and involves staff in all phases of change discussion, planning, and communicate regular throughout the whole process. And that was the end of my video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening, and have a happy